Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. Today's video just going to be taking a look at a new tree fern that has just arrived. Now this video will be probably more towards people who have maybe this is their first purchase of a tree fern or considering getting one for the first time. And what we'll do guys is just briefly go over kind of, what do you do now that you've received your first tree fern. Alright guys, just to show you here, before we jump into the video, this is my 1 foot dicksonia Antarctica tree fern. You can just see underneath, we've got a 1 foot trunk here. Now with these guys, just to say before we go, typically guys, when they are shipped, it will have sort of no green fronds on it. It's usually chopped back. You may see them in garden centers where the fronds are still on. And again, in some respects guys, if you do have the chance to buy from on site, you can actually see the fern itself. I would always recommend that over online, but for some of us guys, online is the only way we can get them. So not necessarily a bad thing to buy online, but this is why we do check it over really well once we do get it. But I just wanted to show you that one here guys, and to show you on my other 2 foot one. Now this one did come with a frond, you can just see here, but as I say, for the most part guys, don't be alarmed if your new fern does not have any fronds on it at all. Alright guys, so just to show you here, this is the packaging that the tree fern arrived in. Now, with the Dicksonia Antarctica tree ferns, guys, these are typically from Tasmania, Australia. These will be grown in sort of the almost kind of woodland forest areas, typically underneath kind of the eucalyptus trees. Now, what generally happens, guys, is these would be kind of farmed out, cut straight from the base there, which if I just show you guys, if I lean it down very gently, and you can just see underneath here guys, so the base is just literally sawed straight through, and essentially guys, this whole bottom bit, so this whole mass here, if I just show you, everything from the ground up to here is all roots, okay? So when we are looking at this guys, and we'll go over watering shortly here as well, and also how to plant these, but you can just see here guys, with it all being a root mass system, and with this being shipped, grown and shipped from the other side of the world, they are very prone to get very dry in transit. If you think this may have taken anywhere from weeks to months to be shipped over here, and these are moisture loving plants. So one thing that we want to do guys, as soon as we receive our first tree fern and it arrives, you want to get it out of its packaging and give it a really good soak through. And when I say soak through guys, and I'll just show you here in a second how I'm doing it, but we are going to soak the entire trunk as well as into the center bit guys. Now this is your crown, so this is where the growth will take place here. Now one thing to mention guys, when you do receive your first tree fern, I'd highly advise that you take pictures as soon as you open. If there are any concerns with your purchase guys, make sure you contact the seller immediately just to make them aware. Now in most cases guys, a lot of the sellers are very good, and are more than happy to work with you there. But just to point that out at first guys, before we do anything, I would suggest kind of getting some pictures. Make sure you get pictures of all angles, just in case guys. For the most part guys, these will transplant very well, but there are occasions when it may be dead on arrival. So always ensuring guys that we do document that as soon as that arrives here. So what I'm gonna do guys, just grab me hose and I will show you just what that looks like getting this all watered in for the first time. Alright guys, so you can just see here, got my hose pipe, and what I'm actually doing here, very gently, again, I'm not doing a huge amount of pressure on this, and I'm just lightly going through here and soaking the entire trunk through. Now I would say guys, with the new purchase, I would probably give it a good 5 or so minutes of water. With tree ferns guys, with them sort of being the woodland plants, moisture loving plants, you really do need to keep the water and moisture and humidity up around these. So it's something that when you are choosing your position to plant, I would ensure that if you can, it's somewhere A, you can either reach with a hose pipe quite easily, or B, somewhere that's not going to necessarily be taking full sun, drying out during the day very quickly. Again guys, water is our best friend here when it comes to tree ferns. So when we are taking care of these guys, moisture is the most important thing with these. Now one thing to bear in mind guys, the environment that these come from is typically on average going to receive around about 5 times more rainfall than we would receive in the UK. So just to kind of bear that in mind, that, you know, even though we do live in the UK and it's moist weather for the most part, in reality, guys, these do need, you know, quite a bit more water, and they're used to quite a bit more water. So, you know, one thing, guys, when it comes to the tree ferns, you know, in the most part, guys, when they decline, it's because of lack of water, down to majority of anything else. Now, one thing to mention, guys, here, now when we just take a look in, you may notice here, if I try and get out of the light, we don't really have much of any fronds showing up, so these would be like your new knuckles. And let me just show you on my large 4-foot one what that would look like, guys, if it has knuckles sort of inside it already. Now, once again, guys, not necessarily a be-all end-all, but you can just see here, guys, just down in here. So this one right there, that's one of the new ones coming up, and you can see some other ones just down in there as well. Now, of course, this one has been in the ground for over a year, so it is rooted now. But with that said, guys, you know, it is sort of beginning of April at the moment. So depending on when you receive your tree fern, it may have more life showing than not. Now you can just see here, just to point out, guys, you see on this one, quite brown leaves. Now that's from winter. Now I would suggest leaving those on until the new fronds come out. Reason being is we don't want to close up the crown, so the center. So if we started chopping those off before they were ready, essentially what we can do is over time, that little crown where it's growing from gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and end up sort of killing the plant over time. So always worth, mentioning keeping your fronds on until they are completely brown, drop down, and the new fronds are out, and that will just ensure that we keep that crown nice and open as well. Now, guys, just while we've got the brand new one here, and just to show you once again, we don't have much of a fronds in there, but again, this is the reason we do kind of document what we have, you know, what we receive when we get it, just in case there are no new ones that come up. Now, typically, guys, these really start shooting fronds sort of May, June time. So again, guys, you know, if you have received one, it doesn't have much life showing at the moment, you know, don't be too concerned, but do keep an eye on it, and again, keep it well watered. You know, anytime we have any dry spells or anything like that, I would make sure you're out there getting that very well watered in. Now, one thing, guys, I mean, these are absolutely stunning plants, one of my favorite plants in the garden. This will be my 7th one now, and still going, so it's a bit of an addiction once you do get going. I'll certainly mention that. Now, another thing to point out, guys, you may have these here. Now, these are the tags that are used for shipping. Now, it is also like a registry or a license, so this tag number here, guys, will be specific to your tree fern. If it does not have the label, something like that, guys, it may or may not have been sourced correctly, so I would kind of perhaps steer away from those. You know, it is always good to you know, source these in the best way possible, and buy from you know, reputable suppliers on that side as well here. Now, one thing to mention, guys, so when we go to plant our tree fern, there is a bit of debate now. One thing that we are doing, guys, as this whole sort of mass is roots here, essentially, as long as there is contact between the root and the ground, it should drop roots into the ground. Now, what I've done with my large one here, guys, very similar. I've put a stake around it, so I've put something secure into the ground and then tied the fern to it. And reason being is, guys, once it does put out those lovely huge fronds, you know, it's very prone to get knocked over in the wind, and the last thing we want to do is damage those fronds, you know, once they have come out. Now, with that said, guys, when you do start to get fronds out, it is one thing to mention that if there is a risk of frost, I would suggest protecting the new fronds. They're going to be much more tender and can be susceptible to frost damage. So you can do that with things like fleece stuffed into the crown there, like a little fleece ball, or even things like straw and leaves. Now, of course, guys, moving on to the winter protection side of things, you know, when it does, you know, these are typically hardy down to about sort of -8 degrees C for short periods of time. But with that said, guys, for the most part, most growers will offer some protection for the plant throughout the winter when it does go below freezing. Now, me personally, guys, what I will do if it is below freezing for a period of time, I will take some fleece, again, stuff it into the crown, into the center of the plant there to protect the new growth. We're then going to at least want to protect the top sort of 18 inches to 2 foot of trunk. And how we'll do that is going to be use things like fleece or even hessian, and you're going to wrap that around the head, so the growing point here, for as long as the duration of cold is. Now there are some people who don't choose to protect these, others do. Again, there's kind of varying advice on these. Me personally, guys, I found, you know, as long as I protect them during the most cold parts, you know, they're absolutely fine. But with that said, guys, as well, one thing I would mention, and again, going back to the watering, during the winter, it is still important to water your tree ferns. So if you do have spells sort of above freezing for, you know, a few days or longer, I would get out and still water them during winter. Perhaps not as excessively into the center, but I would certainly make sure that you're giving it a good soak through every few days. Once again, guys, we're really just trying to keep the moisture level up on these plants at all times. We really don't want this to ever really dry out. Now, as mentioned, guys, back to the planting side. So as mentioned, you can stake it, put it down into the ground. The roots should take from there. Others do choose to sort of sink, you know, a few inches into the ground just to help provide a little more contact to the soil for it to root through. Again, completely up to you what you do on that side. One thing I would do, guys, is to prepare the soil. You know, certainly nutrient-rich soil is going to be its best friend. You know, again, if you think about where these are from, they're going to be getting most of their nutrients from sort of leaf litter and, you know, the kind of detritus that would fall naturally in the forest. So heavily nutrient-rich soil is always good for these as well. But what I'll do, guys, I'm just going to show you where I'm going to position this one, just over here in our new sort of pond area. Again, we're kind of making hopefully kind of a jungly forest area there, but let's just kind of show you what we're doing, positioning that, and just go over the last few care tips here, guys, to help you get going and you know, enjoy your tree fern for years to come. Alright, guys, so just to show you here, I will be using this bamboo stake to anchor this in, make sure it doesn't fall over. I may add another one perhaps later on once the fronds do come out, but you can just see here, guys, if I compare this to the tree fern, it's about sort of a good third more height than the tree fern. So I'm going to sink that in the ground, give it a really good anchor. Again, we just want to stop this from kind of rocking around and help it to root easier. Another thing to point out, guys, when you are buying your tree ferns, now growth rate, typically, you know, you're probably looking a foot over 10 years, depending on its environment. So in one respect, guys, it's important that when you are buying your tree ferns to ensure that you do buy the size that you want from the get-go, as you know, they really do take a long time to grow or put on much height on that side. So just to bear that in mind, guys, as well, when you are looking at new tree ferns, that may be something that you know, worth considering when you are shopping around there. I'm just going to show you getting this in and kind of a couple last care tips. Alright, guys, so you can just see here now we have got this in the position I think I'd like it to go. You know, again, it should sort of open up this back area once these all sort of fill in with all the kind of younger Diropterus ferns down here. Again, I'm really hoping this kind of fern jungly area really kind of come together. But just to say, guys, as well, have received your tree fern, say perhaps in the middle of winter or sort of not in the spring, one tip I would suggest is to keep it somewhere like a greenhouse, or even get it in the ground. I wouldn't suggest sort of keeping it inside, very low humidity inside, and that can also you know, cause it to dry out as well. So basically, guys, even if you have received it sort of middle of winter, I would just go through the normal protection methods we've mentioned. So protecting it in place outside. You can even, I mean, I have on the coldest nights brought them just inside temporarily into, again, a greenhouse or conservatory just for that very cold period, but again, keeping them outside, well watered and everything else. You know, the other question some people do have is in regard to sort of winter protection. When is it okay to kind of remove your protection around your ferns? And for me personally, guys, I would advise really only protecting when it is below freezing. You know, some choose not even to do that, as to say. So, but with that said, guys, when it comes to things like feeding your tree ferns, again, what I would suggest is, you know, they don't need a specific feed. I do use a Vitax tree fern feed myself, which I have had good results on so far. But as I say, guys, it's not one that you necessarily need to feed, such as like your bananas and things like that. You can do, but once again, it is not necessarily something necessary you have to do. Water is going to be your biggest concern, and certainly make sure you do keep them very well watered, especially in the first few years. Really, guys, just with that said, hopefully this has been helpful. in regard to tree ferns, if it is your first tree fern, I wish you the best of luck with it. Certainly let us know how you're getting on. If you're planning on buying a tree fern and there's something I've kind of missed out on, or you've got a question on, drop it down in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to help answer that for you as well. But just with that said, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, certainly feel free to do so. Lots of updates and how-tos sort of throughout the year, but of course, guys, we also have the friends of the channel on there as well. Now, if you're interested in sort of the palm tree side of things, our friend of the channel, Troppy Claude, has also just released a video of how to sort of transplant palm trees. So again, guys, if that's an area that you're looking to get some information on, I will put a link in the comments below to the video as well. Certainly go over, subscribe, and with that said, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.